to the about today. So what would you like to take from today, or what bit have you found useful? Marie?
Yeah, I just love watching you doing the dance, as you call it, and just the questions that you ask. It's kind of like you're a detective. So, you just have to ask the right questions to kind of dig a little bit deeper, because sometimes the client doesn't understand what the emotion is, or, where it is or why. So it's really great watching you doing that dance and asking the questions.
Thank you. Anybody else would like to share anything about today's level 2 day 1?
It's been really useful practicing on each other as well, watching you do it, but also getting to practice on each other. I think so much of it is just practice, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. It's where it happens, isn't it? It's you just doing it. I mean, you can watch as many videos as you like sometimes, but it's actually just getting stuck in and doing it. And watching you today has been a real joy, and hearing the connections and the shifts from my perspective has been really nice. Yeah. Yeah, anything else you wanted to add, or anything particular that you'll take away from today and think, or just one word before we finish up? India?
I feel like level 1 was really exciting because I knew absolutely nothing, but this is like a different exciting, because it's like we have that base, and then it's like, oh, what else can we learn about? Like, we're getting like extra goodies. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's so sweet.
Evening it.
Yeah. Good, lovely. Great. And Angie and Deb, it's been a while since you've done your course. How are you traveling along?
Yeah, really, it was really lovely to be part of it. For me, I think the takeaway is when you said to India, does this feel real? Does that feel real? Because that's so important, that the client is actually, it's almost like you're calling her out in a way, in a nice kind of Alison way. But for me, that was really important, because I thought, well, you could go on tapping on something that the client's just making up something because she's not ready, or doesn't want to unravel anything. So it was really lovely to see you actually, perception of what was happening with her, that you actually knew that wasn't right for her, and that it brought it back so that you would get a result. I thought that was, for me, that's the takeaway today.
Oh, that's great. And that's what we talked about, isn't it? That just, some things, land and don't land. And that's where you really start to pay attention to tones. And, somebody says that we call it incongruence, don't we? It's like I'm saying something, but actually it's not really true. So it is a little bit like detective work. So I'm glad you take that from that, because it's so important, isn't it? It's not about me at all. It's about India, and it's just and it is the dance, as Laura says, and it's like I always feel so honoured to do a dance with somebody, and for them to feel safe to do it together. Sometimes it's very intense, and sometimes it's joyful and fun, and it's everything.
And then, like, talking about the blocks, when we were doing that big conversation, that in a way, if you didn't ask that question, that could give the client the little bit of ammo there. See, it doesn't work. See, it does. I told you.
That's right. Yes.
So I think that's really important for me, that's something that I'm going to keep in mind, to make sure that I'm always sort of hitting the target issue, so to speak.
Yeah, I think that's amazing, Deb, because so often, and we don't do it on purpose, do we? We can get a bit carried away, and we've lost this moment of it's about them and asking the right question. And it's so normal, because we're just excited, aren't we? And it's like, oh, but actually that is the key part of the healing, isn't it? To be heard, to be valued, to be listened to be able to express yourself, to feel like somebody's getting you, and you've got permission to say these things. So really glad that you see the importance in that. Yeah.
But also clarifying, because there's a difference between being nervous and having anxiety.
Yeah.
And it was so good that you differentiated between those two emotions.
Yeah. Yeah, because there's also connotations for some people too. I mean, this is a whole topic in itself. For some people, I was thinking about this the other day, some people don't want to say I have anxiety because there's these labels around it, but some people feel more comfortable saying I just got this nervousness, and it doesn't matter. It's just a word, really. It's more about what is that actually? What are the legs and the what is that? So yeah.
Energy. Thank you. I enjoyed today.
Good. I'm glad. And Angie, do you just want to share a little bit, having had a bit of space between level 1 and 2?
Sure. Yeah. I feel like level 1 was really, I was focused so much on the theory and why it works and how it works and getting steps down and kind of the logic of everything. And right now it feels like we're focusing on the quality and our approach. And I'm taking, I'm sorry if it doesn't look like I'm just taking so many notes because I'm hearing, I'm just hearing everyone's approach is so different. And I love the way that you framed it as investigating. You know, we only have so much time to get in and kind of investigate and find that issue. And when we were doing, when Chris and I were doing our session, Deborah was listening in. And in the beginning, she gently came in and asked a few questions, and it was so helpful because I think that is the most important part, because then you get momentum and you kind of get a rhythm and you find your way through it. But it is that beginning point that helps open up the session so that you can get that momentum. I feel like I got a lot of that today.
Oh, brilliant. I'm really pleased. Really pleased. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
Okay, well, if everybody's kind of ready to enjoy the afternoon, because there's still the afternoon, which is good, isn't it? That there's 3:30. I'll share a little secret with you. I've been up since 4:30, and that's because I go to bed around 9 o'clock. So I feel like, okay, I'm going to go and have a swim. I'm such an early bird. In fact, last night was one of those nights where it's like 8 o'clock, and I went, oh, a bit too early to go to bed, but faffed about, and it's 9 o'clock by the time I went to bed. Anyway, I'm waffling on. It's so nice. Lovely, lovely group. You make this a beautiful group. So I'm really looking forward to seeing you all tomorrow at 9:30. I do encourage you to just drop your books and all of that. So I can't obviously control what you're doing, but just as a little heads up, it's nice for you to just enjoy your afternoon, because it can be a little heady. But thank you for participating, all of you, in your own unique way. And I shall see you all tomorrow at 9:30.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.